Yo, and I saw something on the internet today. Well, it was yesterday, and I just had to do a reaction to it because the live streaming community, they're in a place where it's relatively new, and because it's relatively new, they're pushing it as far as they can. And you're saying, like, what do you mean by they're pushing it as far as they can? They're trying to see how far they can go with the live streams until they break it. If that makes any sense. You understand where I'm coming from? Where, like, it reminds me when people were on YouTube, they were just pushing what they can get away with on YouTube until YouTube started to ban people for certain things. Like, I remember there were people dressing up as Spider-Man and Elsa. There was no rules to say you couldn't do that, but then you started to see weird things seep into the actual videos, and this was meant to be aimed at kids. And we got the same thing with the live streams, where people are just doing what the hell they want on a live stream, and because it's live, you can get away with anything. And here is Vitaly. He's been harassing people as normal. I would say as normal because it's what he does. He harasses people. People who he believes that are, well, he harasses normal people. That's why he's been kicked out of certain countries. But also, he had this thing where he would go around finding pedos or predators, and he would bring them to justice. And I thought, well, it seemed like he'd doing a good thing, but then you think to yourself, somebody like him, we're gonna give him the power to find predators and bring them to justice, and he just been brought to justice himself. So who is he? I mean, yeah, they're pedos, but you can't really look at this guy's judgmental skills and think this guy is smart. I don't see him as smart. I see him as an idiot.
Wait.
Here we go.
Where's the Bluetooth? Where's the Bluetooth speaker, honey? Wait, no. Honey, man.
It was a confrontational live stream meant for global clicks.
Honey, man. Bluetooth speaker.
I don't even see the point in them blurring this guy's face out, because at one point you can literally see his face.
But for Akash Singh,
You can see his face for a second or so. For a second or so you can
for
see his
global
face.
clicks.
Yeah, you can see his face. And then you saw it again.
But
Right, whoever did this are not good at blurring out people's faces. I know this is only 2 minutes long. And they couldn't even blur the guy's face out for 2 minutes. Anyway, this poor man has been accused of being a predator, and they got it all wrong.
for Akash Singhania, it became a living nightmare. On 11th April 2026,
You know someone's not a predator when they ring the police on themselves.
in California's Santa Ana, controversial influencer Vitaly cornered
old is
Singhania,
Vitaly?
accusing
This guy is acting like a total twat. He's acting like a child. How old is this man? There's no way this is a grown ass man acting like this.
him of attempting to meet a minor. All claims based on a tragic mix-up of Snapchat messages.
Let's see, Alasinka, my world has turned upside down this weekend. Good is they got it all wrong. This guy has not been messaging any minors, and the problem is, what I noticed with some of this is that some of it is entrapment, because they want to find the predator, because they want the views, because they want the clicks. They're going out their way to message people, and it's entrapment in a way where you are kind of goading people into situations that they would never would be in and never put themselves into. But him behind the scene, him and his team are behind the scenes, coaxing this man into sending more messages and trying to twist the messages to make him kind of sound like a pedo. And it's sad because I'm not involved in any of these young kids. I don't message young people, but you know, you could be end up in you could have a situation where you're messaging someone and you think they're a certain age, and they'll be like, "Oh, I'm really 14," and then they put you in a situation where now you've messaged all these messages, and they could be deleting the portions of the messages until you realize their age, and you'll be sending something back and forth between somebody that's a pedophile hunter, and you don't know the age, and they come up with the age, and then what they want you to do is still be like, oh, we can still meet up. You know, that's what they want. And then they go, oh, we got it. But in hindsight, really, you're not going out your way to find a 14-year-old. They've set this all up. Then they'll be like, oh, I'm this age. And I think this is what they kind of done with him as well. It's like, I told you my age afterwards, and he's kind of like, hey, surprise. You know, imagine meeting a girl, and you slept with a girl, and she told you she faked her passport, driving license, and then she's like, oh, I'm 14. And you're like, what? But wait, I checked the driving license part. Like, well, yeah, I lied. But then you don't get all the evidence of all this now. Well, that could just be disappeared, deleted. You know how they send these deleted messages where you can say, oh, send me your passport, driving license, and it could be all AI doctored. It's all gone, and then you're sitting down there with a 14-year-old like, yeah, we got you, you pedo. Like, but she told me, like, where the messages? They've all disappeared. Man, I'm not making an excuse for pedos, but with Vitaly, it feels like just to get the views, he's going through an entrapment type situation.
Where's the Bluetooth speaker, honey? Where's the Bluetooth?
The video was marred by what many have called blatant racial stereotyping and
Yeah, on top of that, yeah, how do you even make that mistake? Someone says you would be sued. I mean, this guy should sue him for every penny he gets. Well, every penny he got, because man, not only has he accused him of being a PDF file, he's also sat down there in front of him and mocked him racially. I mean, these are some hard racial stereotypes, and Vitaly must have really thought he was in the right to be dancing around and doing all the Indian dance and the Indian accent around this guy, and he's completely innocent.
false allegations. Vitaly was seen mocking Singhania's background, at one point calling him one of those smart tech Indians. The fallout in the Indian community was immediate, with millions calling for legal action. Santa Ana police quickly cleared Singhania of all wrongdoing. Facing a massive backlash, Vitaly deleted the video and apologized. He admitted his team deeply regrets the error. But for an innocent man whose face was broadcast as a criminal, an apology may not be enough. This is far from Vitaly's first legal storm. His record spans the globe. Just months ago, Vitaly...
It's crazy how he's trying to find criminals, but he's the real criminal, really. You can't make this up. So we meant to put the hands of justice, you know, in paper in this guy. This guy who's been deported from the Philippines. You can't make this stuff up, and it's just dangerous.
Vitaly was deported from the Philippines after nearly 300 days in detention for public harassment. Now, back in the US, he faces a potential multi-million-dollar defamation suit from Singhania, whose legal team is already preparing to hold the creator accountable for irreparable reputational harm. As the Indian community rallies behind Singhania, this case stands as a stark warning of the real-world consequences of vigilante content.
It's not only vigilante content, it's vigilante content and live streaming. Because they never thought this through. Because it's live, they haven't planned this properly. They're just sitting down there, and the whole thing's horrible. They sat around him and they're just bullying the guy. You know, they're just bullying him. Vitaly's got his security, he's got his team behind him. He's got this one guy there being accused of being a PDF file, and he's saying he isn't, and you got Vitaly mocking the guy. It's horrible. And luckily, this guy has a strong will and a strong mind, because a lot of people, when you accuse them of certain things and the mud sticks, it comes to a point where it's a reputational damage to them. And some people have followers, and their followers still believe that these people are what they say this guy is accusing them of. And it could ruin someone's life, and they could end up taking their life. Because not everybody's cut out for YouTube and being world famous. A lot of people who ended up on YouTube and became like memes and world famous, they didn't like it at first. I mean, when the money came in, they're fine with it. When they get a slice of the money. But some people, yeah, they don't want to become that famous. They don't want to be laughed at around the world. They don't want to be accused of being a PDF file. Some people can't deal with the stress, and Vitaly, he needs to stop this what's it called? I can't even pronounce the name now. Vitaly needs to stop this vigilante nonsense where he believes he's above the law, where he can go out and find PDF files. Because at the end of the day, he's not really the person you want to be doing this job, because he had prior problems. I'm not saying he's a pedophile, but you want someone doing this that at least doesn't have any criminal records, doesn't go around harassing people. And this is the lengths of the lowestness of his content now, that this is what he's doing. You know what I mean? He must be desperate, and I don't know how he still has platforms this day and age when he's doing this to people. I've seen people be deplatformed for less, but yet he's on these platforms like Kick, and they're gonna ban him for maybe 30 days. He's right back, and he'll start doing some other nonsense. You know, there's not really much laws around what they're doing. This is harassment. But anyway, like, subscribe, and I'm out.